Good morning. You're listening to World Without Rule of Law. Welcome to another segment of Preppers and Patriots podcast. Today's segment is entitled Take a Knee or Take a Stand. We'll be right back. This morning, someone who I respect, and for the most part agree with, challenged everyone to suspend and re-examine the beliefs that we were brought up with, to look in an unbiased way at why we choose to stand for the national anthem or salute this country's flag. I agree that our government is corrupt to the core. I believe in less governmental control, not more. I agree that we should not have to pay for the rights that were God-given. I understand the desire to withdraw from mainstream ideals and ideologies, to withdraw from the system. I believe that, for me at least, the practice of standing for the national anthem is about paying respect to those that have sacrificed of themselves for the freedoms we do still enjoy here in this country. It is to pay respect and to honor a way of life. It is not about honoring or saluting a corrupt government or supporting that corruption in any way. Yes, our freedoms are being slowly eroded away. However, even so, we still live in the best country on earth. That is only my opinion. If anyone disagrees with it, I fully support and respect their right to expatriate themselves. When we were on the precipice of the Trump administration, we saw many people, from the very famous all the way to our own neighbors, family, and friends, threaten to leave this country should Trump actually be elected. To my knowledge, none of them have left yet, nearly 1 year later. On a side note, and for the record, I exercised my right not to vote in that presidential election. While I saw several valid candidates early on, I did not find one of them in the final choice. I refuse to choose one evil over the other just because it's of a lesser magnitude. I also acknowledge now, as I did last November, that Donald Trump is my president, whether I like it or not. As long as I am a citizen of this nation, I will recognize this nation's choice for president. It is my personal belief that we have not had a good president since Ronald Reagan. Yet, I still choose to remain a citizen, a choice every individual has the right to make for themselves. I will stand, not in respect to a government or an institution. I will stand in respect to the individuals who sacrifice themselves to further the pursuit of security and freedom we still have in this country. Who has not heard about the take a knee protest fad sweeping the NFL? No matter what side of the argument you find yourself on, one thing is certain. This so-called protest movement is effectively dividing this nation. While it is true that the players do have an individual personal right not to stand in respect of the anthem, why would they choose not to do so? What is it inside an American citizen that would cause them to blatantly disrespect a nation? Specifically, a nation which affords them an opportunity for them to be able to make an above-average living playing a game. What are they protesting? Do they even know? Unfortunately, on the other end of the debate, we have a president who makes statements driven by his ego and his own overinflated sense of self-worth. This only helps to further the division in this nation. We are living in a nation of ungrateful, entitled children. Donald Trump is among them. I truly believe that Donald Trump loves this country and has its best interest at the heart of all he does. I even agree with most of his political values and positions. I also believe he is a spoiled, egomaniacal blowhard who does not possess the personal class or character to be the leader of the free world. I fully agree with him calling for the players who refuse to stand for the anthem to be removed from the field. I just hoped and expected that he could have found a more tactful and effective way to convey that message to the American people. During the playing of the anthem is not an appropriate time to protest the ills of society. It's not a time to try to further one's political agenda or beliefs. The playing of the national anthem is not now, or has never been, a political statement of any kind. For decades, Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike have stood silently together during those moments in respect to this nation that they loved, in respect of those that sacrificed for this nation that they also loved. It is a time only to pay respect to brave men and women throughout time who have sacrificed of themselves and their loved ones for the advancement of the freedoms this nation continues to enjoy today. I could have stood across the street from the courthouse when O.J. Simpson got acquitted for murder and waved the banner of protest against the lack of justice in the American justice system. That would have been an appropriate place and time for such a protest. I could stand across the street at O.J. Simpson's funeral for the same purpose. That would not be an appropriate place or time for such a protest. However, in both cases, I would be within my rights to do so. As members of a society that live, work, and interact with one another every day, we should strive to have the discernment to follow certain unwritten guidelines of social behavior. The Bible tells us all things may be lawful, but are not expedient. All things do not edify. Ungrateful, entitled children now enjoy the freedom to openly and defiantly disrespect the very same individuals and ideals that purchased those freedoms for them. Many with their own blood, some even their very lives. I also have the right to the same freedom to protest, as does every American. Please join me and countless others in standing alongside those that stand and those that cannot stand, in honor and respect for the sacrifices they have made. Please join me while I enjoy my right to protest as well, to protest the NFL leadership for allowing this unconscionable behavior, to protest the players and coaches who allow, encourage, and take part in this behavior, and finally to protest the fans and members of the public who continue to support it. Until this behavior stops, the NFL does not exist for me or in my home in any way, shape, or form. I will stand for the anthem to pay honor and respect to those individuals and ideals that have earned me that right. Thank you all for listening. God bless you.